Winter is over, and fans are ready to go racing, or at least talk about it, as the Motorsports Expo provides an unofficial start to the Go Nuclear late model season. This edition of the Atomic Power Racing Hour gives you a chance to look back on a great 2013 season, find out more about the big races that lie ahead, and hear from some of the series stars that always find their way to the front, along with some that, well, just want to steal some airtime from Dad. Race season is back, and so is the Atomic Power Racing Hour.
Welcome back to the Atomic Power Racing Hour. My name is Rich Vleck, and that noise you hear behind me is the talk of race season just around the corner. We're focusing today on the Go Nuclear Late Model Series, which has cars throughout this great venue, and we look forward to the 2014 season, talking to some of the key players. Before we do that, though, we want to take a look back at what made 2013 so successful and why you got to become part of the fun.
Kingsley slides up. Miller is there, and they're side-by-side into turn number one. Miller with a slight advantage into the corner, into 3 and 4 inches, a car length ahead. Tries to keep it stuck down there. Fink throws everything at it on the top of the racetrack. Here comes Clint Smith down to the inside. Cat Daddy's down there, he's got third, and now Jameson slips up, and into second goes Clint Smith. And Frank puts it down to the inside. Almost had him cleared off at turn number 4, and Sandercock goes back around the outside. Miller dives down to the bottom. They go 3 wide to turn number 3. Miller's not lifting. Floats up to the cushion. That should kill his momentum, but keeps him in the battle. We got a crash, though. Matt Vanderwinden over the barrier to the inside, and we've got a traffic jam. You can see some liquid laid down around the racetrack. Not sure who's putting it down. It's the leader.
The winter's almost over. It's time to go racing. The first ever Atomic Spring Clash at the Mohawk International Raceway. 2 days of action-packed excitement, April 26th and 27th. The Go Nuclear late models run 3 features over the weekend, while fans can walk away with more than $10,000 in giveaways. Also on tap, the Dirt Car Sportsman Tour and the Empire Super Sprints, plus autographs, a party in the pits, and more. Sprints, sportsmen, and late models, all part of the Atomic Spring Clash. See you at Mohawk.
If you care about quality, service, or pride of ownership, it's time to call Tenachi AV. Tenachi AV provides music and theater systems for the home that defy expectations and are a clear cut above those found in the mass market stores, including handcrafted opera loudspeakers, Unison research amplification from Italy, Integra home theater, and many more. Discover the difference at tenachiav.com. or visit us on Facebook.
Go Nuclear Late Model Challenge Series is presented by Excel Tower Service, Peters Excavating, Atomic Chassis, Lias Racing Tire, American Racer, FX Caprera, Bilstein Shocks, Ed Carley Motorsports, BA Custom Headers, Finish Line Web Design, and Tenace Diversified.
Welcome back to the Atomic Power Racing Hour, coming to you today from the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse. And before we look forward to 2014, we look back at some of the key races of 2013, including the season opener at the Humberstone Speedway, a track that hosts late model action on a weekly basis. But it was one of the drivers that had never been to the Speedway before that would walk away with a checkered flag.
Here's the look back at the finest moments of the feature.
AJ Kingsley with a great start. In a turn number 1, he'll lead. Grigsby falls into second. We've got one around. It's Rick Miller and Jordan Peters with hard contact. They look to split. The 92 of Adam Turner into turn number 3. They're 3 wide. And Carley goes down to the bottom. In no man's land is Turner and around the outside. How about Rapid Rick Miller? Carley up the speedway, and we're 3 wide for third. Through the middle goes Rick Miller. Rapid Rick drives up, and over the banking goes Ed Carley. A number of cars go by the 28. He goes from second back to about 9th place right now, and we've got a new runner-up on the outside. Rick Miller up in the number 2 spot. Incredible drive from the back of the pack after he spun around And now he's by Dale Caswell. Kingsley slides up. Miller is there and they're side by side into turn number 1. Miller with a slight advantage into the corner. And off of turn number 2. Finds the bite, puts the hammer down. He might have him this time off of turn number 4. Kingsley again hugging the Jersey barrier, but got off the groove, and Miller's out in front. Kingsley fights back hard to the inside. AJ Kingsley's down there. The lap car of Billy Holmes has moved up to the top, and this could be a tenuous moment for Miller. He crosses back down to the bottom of the racetrack now. Will block the advances of Kingsley, but Miller's running a groove he has been unfamiliar to since the drop of the green flag. 3 wide with the lap cars goes Miller. He gets underneath Harvey and Holmes and puts some significant distance off of turn number 4. Leaders in the 11P, who's about 20 laps down after the 2 of them made contact on the opening lap. But into 3 and 4 for the final time. As long as he stays out of harm's way, Rapid Rick Miller is going to victory lane here at Humberstone.
Well, it's certainly a wild show to kick off the 2013 season. Rick Miller goes to victory lane back then, almost a year ago now, but what do you remember from that show?
Well, I remember it was one of our first wins, and the car felt really good that night. And I know came back from an early spin, had a brake adjustment issue, adjusted that, and then started green and started passing some cars. And next thing you know, I'm up front.
So you're looking forward to the Humberstone show this year?
Yeah, it's a fun track. I liked it.
A lot of stuff going forward for this season as well.
Yeah. It's looking good. We're making a few adjustments here and there, and hopefully we'll get a little bit better results than we did last year.
Well, one of the results that was still pretty good for Rick last year, a win at a track he knew a little bit more than Humberstone.
And a big drag race into turn number 1. Caswell slides the R19 right in front of Kingsley. An issue in turn number 4. Looks like Aaron Backus in the 95, and Harry Halliday has made it a 3-car battle. As he gets his car glued to the bottom rail, Miller finds some bite on the top, and around the outside goes the 33X, and again makes it side by side, and should block the line of the 33X. Miller dives down to the bottom. They go 3 wide into turn number 3. Miller's not lifting, floats up to the cushion. That should kill his momentum, but keeps him in the battle. Caswell had to see Miller that time and knows that he's closing in. Rick Miller puts it up on the cushion. Caswell floats through the black stuff, gets a little slick, and Rick Miller's into the race lead. They're side by side once again. Jason Knowles, the 8th place car, right in front of them. Down on the bottom goes the R19, uses the 4K as a pick. We've seen that all night long. Caswell has himself back out in front. Hollyfield, who right now runs in position number 7. A great run going for him, but here comes Caswell to the inside. Steve Coit right in front of him. Caswell tiptoes on the bottom of the racetrack, a little bit of contact, and the leader's able to work by 3 critical lap cars. At the moment, the next car they're going to reel in, Harry Halliday, who right now runs in the 6th position. Miller sets it up off of turn number 4, gets a big run, and battles side by side for the race lead. He led that lap at the line into turn number 1 and 2. Halliday, like his teammate Caswell, stuck to the bottom, and Miller goes around the outside. Rapid Rick into the race lead, and Caswell has nowhere to go. That could not have worked out any better for Rick Miller. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. Caswell unable to get by the lap car and close in. Well, it's clear racetrack for the 33X of Rick Miller. Off of turn number 4, he gets the double checkered flags and picks up the win.
Well, unlike the Humberstone event where Rick had to come from the back, that Utica race, you and Dale Caswell up front the whole way, that had to be just a major thrill.
Yeah, it was good to be back at Utica Rome. That used to be one of my favorite tracks back in the 90s, and we had some good relationships there, a lot of friends, and a lot of good times, and it just felt good to get on the track again. It wasn't much different than it was before. You know, it's a fast track, and I was very fortunate to come away with a win.
This year, back at Utica Rome for the Gnome Cup, more money and a cool-looking trophy. What are you expecting for that? I
mean, you can't go wrong there. I mean, we are looking forward, obviously, to Utica Rome. Like I said, it's one of my favorite tracks, always has been. So jot it down in your calendar. Make sure you get there. We had a heck of a show last year, and I'm sure we won't disappoint again this year.
That's coming up May 18th, a show that everybody's going to be looking forward to, the Gnome Cup. Here's a little bit more about that event.
If you're enjoying these late models on the Atomic Power Racing Hour, you need to be there in person. The Go Nuclear Late Model Challenge Series is coming to a track near you with all the dirt-flinging, side-by-side racing, and bumper-to-bumper action that you can handle. Come see the cars and stars of the Atomic Power Racing Hour as they battle for bragging rights. The series is coming to a track near you, so don't miss out on your best opportunity to experience what all the hype's about. Don't miss out on the Gnome Cup Sunday, May 18th at Utica Rome Speedway.
Planning a trip to Victory Lane? Let Atomic Chassis get you there. Atomic Chassis are built with a high attention to detail using superior parts from trusted manufacturers such as BPM, Winters, Bernheisel, Bilstein, All-Star Performance, Vulcan, and many more. With superior craftsmanship and materials, you know Atomic will last. And since each customer becomes a part of our family, you aren't treated like just another number. So visit AtomicChassis.com today to plan your next trip to Victory Lane.
The winter's almost over. It's time to go racing. The first ever Atomic Spring Clash at the Mohawk International Raceway. 2 days of action-packed excitement, April 26th and 27th. The Go Nuclear late models run 3 features over the weekend, while fans can walk away with more than $10,000 in giveaways. Also on tap, the Dirt Car Sportsman Tour and the Empire Super Sprints, plus autographs, a party in the pits, and more. Sprints, Sportsman, and late models, all part of the Atomic Spring Clash. See you at Mohawk.
Well, 2 big events were held at the Brockville Speedway in 2013 for the Go Nuclear late models. The first one being held when some big names were in the area and jumping in rental rides that made them the odds-on favorites. But it was someone jumping into a ride for the first time after their engine had gone away that would go to Victory Lane.
Can't even start for the top 2. Through turn number 1 and 2, and on the outside of the racetrack, Kyle Sopas looks good. Jason McCory goes over the bank, though. Hard contact for David McDonald down to the inside. Gail Caswell looking on Greg Bellier for position number 4. Down to the inside with a slide job off the corner, especially when it starts to slick off. Caswell, though, puts it back down to that bottom rail. If the top crew goes away, you've got to be on the bottom off of turn number 4. As of now, Sandercock able to drive back in front. Sandercock pulling out to a car length advantage. Caswell commands second, though, and puts it down to the inside rail. Sandercock able to hold him off, though, into turn number 3. Caswell again drives the R19 down to the bottom groove. Unable to clear the leader, though. Caswell again peeks down to the inside rail. Has him cleared, but Sandercock drives back around the outside. You wonder if Caswell could have slammed the door shut. Still a lot of laps left to be done, and Caswell not positive that he had him cleared and now may lose second for it. Here comes Chubbzilla. Chubb Frank on the outside of the racetrack. Frank's right down on the bottom along with Charlie Sandercock for this restart. Now the 21H goes up high, gets a little loose, finding the cushion. That berm has moved up at Brighton Speedway. And here comes Chubbzilla. Reels in the 21H after they had to pass the lap car that was heading to the pits. And Frank puts it down to the inside. Almost had him cleared off at turn number 4. And Sandercock goes back around the outside. We got an incident in turn number 3. Couple of the top runners involved. Phil Potts, the 9K of AJ Kingsley. Bellier, who won his heat race earlier, faded back in the opening laps and makes it a 3-car scramble. The 1-star of Frank really starting to spit some fire out of the exhaust now. The car's backfiring, not handling right. Caswell down to the inside of turn number 4. That's a tough spot to pass, but Frank will have to let him go. Nobody in front of him as he works into 3 and 4. He has no idea. He's got a full backstretch lead. And off at turn number 4, Charlie Sandercock has a Go Nuclear Late Model Series win.
Well, you saw some youthful exuberance out of Charlie Sandercock for winning at Brockville that night. One of the drivers that didn't work out as well for is AJ Kingsley, who's with his boy Aiden right now, and I think he wants to get on the camera, but we'll talk to you about that show. It wasn't the best of your events, but you had a great 2013 season.
Yeah, our season went really well. We had some really great runs. I mean, we ended up second at Humberstone. We ended up third at Mohawk a few times, and I mean, we had a great car all year. Just our finishes sometimes didn't reflect how good of a team we had.
So what's ahead for 2014?
2014, we're going to do Fulton full time and the Go Nuclear Series. Traveling is going to be pretty limited for just the fact of this little guy right here. Definitely want to work on being around a lot more, and I know racing's important, but I also need to be a good father.
Absolutely, and you talk about being on the tour. It really is a different breed when you go out on the tour and have to race against people that come from all over.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we all get along. We're all great friends when we're just hanging out, but I mean, you can't beat the competition we have.
And the tracks are always different, as was the case in the second Brockville race. Track was a little bit different than it was the first time.
Yeah, we got on the track after a 100-lap sportsman or a 100-lap modified feature, and we just got our way up to third, and Phil Potts got us and spun us right out. But hopefully we can rebound from that and have a really good year for 2014.
The race AJ's talking about was the final race of the Northern Tour for 2014. Let's take a look at how that whole race broke down.
We are underway here at Brockville for the Go Nuclear Late Model. Turner, Greg Bellier, one of his buddies, speaks to the outside, the number 25, and makes a nice roll on the top of the racetrack. Everybody else hanging out down towards the bottom, battles side by side, and we've got a side-by-side battle for third. Down to the inside goes Dale Caswell. Gets the launch off the inside rail, and as much as Bellier's been fighting on the top of the racetrack to carve out a new line, the inside rail, the place to be, Caswell up to third. No Potts, we got a crash though. Matt Vanderlinden over the barrier to the inside, and we've got a traffic jam in turn number one. Drives around everybody up into sixth. Harry Halliday makes contact, it'll spin around in the 13th tee. Kingsley holding the middle groove down the backstretch, contact, and Kingsley will go around. AJ Kingsley spun in turn number three. You can see as he stands on the gas, Caswell's tire going down quickly. Bellier goes to the inside. Here comes Potts and Miller. Miller goes up to third, and he's going for the race lead. Going after Corey Earl, a pair of drivers with multiple victories at the Brighton Speedway over the last few years. Up to the top goes Bellier, and on the charge is AJ Kingsley after being spun out a few laps ago. He goes to the inside and makes contact with Weiss. Potts will come around as well. It's so good off of turn number two. Now let's see what he can do entering turn number three side by side. Up on the top side. He's right there at all 35 laps. He gets the double checkered flags here today. Bellier barely holds off Miller at the line.
Well, we're back here at the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse, looking ahead to the 2014 season for the Go Nuclear Late Models. We look back still at some of the races that took place in 2013, including one here at the Blackrock Speedway, a track that has never hosted a Go Nuclear event before, had some drivers that had never run with the series before, but they were a factor at the finish, and it turned out to be one of the wildest races of the year.
Out of turn number four, they hit the loud hammer, and we're underway for the final Go Nuclear Late Model race of the year. Sandercock slips up. Here comes Wonderling down to the inside as they enter turn number one for the second time. Wonderling holds the inside rail and he's got the lead. Bryce Davis has reeled in the leaders. Goes to the outside of Sandercock for second. Goes way up the banking and gets a full head of steam down the backstretch. Pulls even with Sandercock as they enter turn number three. Stays in the gas and off of turn number four. He's got the runner-up position. The leaders have now hit lap traffic. Through the middle goes Wonderling. Around the outside goes Davis. Davis making a bid for the lead. They're three wide into turn number one, and Davis gets into the back of Sopaz. Sopaz goes around. Yellow flag gonna fly. Knowles up to third. Davis still runs in second just ahead of him. And Wonderling goes around in turn number two. He's got a flat left rear tire and the leader is out. Jason Knowles able to move down to the inside, and he takes second back from Charlie Sandercock. We can see some liquid laid down around the racetrack. Not sure who's putting it down. It's the leader, Bryce Davis, with fluid emanating out of the left rear of his 94. A lap and a half away. He is slowed in turn number three. Here comes Knowles making the bid. White flag out this time. And Davis is slowed on the front stretch. He's out of power. Knowles takes the lead away. Davis able to get back up. And then Knowles slows down. Knowles is out of power as Davis goes back into the race lead. And Davis is out again. Davis and Knowles both out of power, out of turn number four. Here comes Sandercock. His car quit. Caswell through the middle. Dale Caswell gets the win. What just happened?
Well, we're nearing the end here on the Atomic Power Racing Hour for our preview show for the Go Nuclear late model season that lies ahead. But before we do that, we got a few more events from 2013 to look back on, including one wild and fast feature at the Canaan Motorsports Park, known as the Nasty Track of the North.
25 laps of Go Nuclear late model series action is underway out of turn number 4. Isley sees the bottom line open. The critical juncture off of turn number 4, and Billy Isley, in jeopardy of losing third, actually gains a spot, goes up into the runner-up position. But Big Cast Company out in front. The 18 is there and rides right down to the inside. Isley sticks like glue on the bottom of the speedway and gets a big run down the backstretch. Into 3 and 4 inches, a car length ahead. Tries to keep it stuck down there. Fink throws everything at it on the top of the racetrack, but off the bottom. Local favorite, Billy Isley in the number 18. Started back in 5th, faded to 6th, and then drove to the front. His first ever Go Nuclear Late Model Series win, and he does it in dominating fashion. We're green on turn number 4 here at Mohawk for the Go Nuclear Late Models. The field rumbles through turn number 1 and 2. Chubbzilla out in front of the pack. Green flag. Kingsley edges forward, but pulls back in a line as Chubb Frank takes the field into turn number 1. Jamison now with the move to the inside. Jason Jamison looks for the number 2 spot off the corner, and he's got it. Slides up in front of Kingsley. Here comes Clint Smith down to the inside. Cat Daddy's down there, he's got 3rd, and now Jamison slips up, and into 2nd goes Clint Smith. What a move by the driver in the number 98. Ran here a number of times in sportsman and modified competition. As for Jamison, this is his first time ever on the Speedway tonight. He falls back to 6th as Caswell moves on by. Chubbzilla puts it down on the inside rail, and again, that could be a little bit of a problem because a lot of the drivers are running down the inside lane. Just 8 more laps left to go, and here comes Clint Smith, as Elmer Stevenson is not going to let Chubbzilla lap him very easily. The red number 10 fights back hard on the outside of the racetrack. Just a bunch of lap cars engulfing the 1 star, and now you can see the 98 of Clint Smith starting to reel him in. Smith using a lot of elbow grease to get by the 14 and still can't do it off of turn number 2. All going on as Chubb Frank starts to stretch out his advantage once again. Almost 3 wide entering turn number 3. Smith thought better of it. Still can't get by Stevenson and Brandon Kidd. Things going a lot better right now for Chubb Frank. And through turn 3 and 4, no issues for Chubb Frank. He dominates tonight here at Mohawk.
Well, that was just one of the 3 great events at Mohawk last year for the Go Nuclear late models. Some other great ones towards the end of the season. And this year, 2 big shows coming up in April that you can't miss. I'm here with Shane Tenace. And Shane, we've got some big action coming at Mohawk, one of the best tracks out there.
Oh, Mohawk Speedway is just an absolutely phenomenal facility to have races at. And as you mentioned, the April races, I think, will really be unprecedented. The Atomic Spring Clash, that's our 2-day show. We actually have sprints, late models, actually 3 features of late models, big sportsman shows, enduro, $10,000 worth of prizes will be given away to fans.
So not just people in the cars are going to be walking away with some great prizes over the course of the weekend. A lot of incentives to come out and get in the stands.
You know, we always like to make a real fan-friendly event, so we've got all kinds of kids packs for the kids. You know, as always, we have our Frisbee toss. People can take away cash. But I mean, those prizes, we've got a $1,000 cash prize. We've got a $3,500 home theater. We've got multiple $100 prizes, ovens, you name it, we've got it. We even have a bounce house.
A lot of things to look forward to at the Atomic Spring Clash. More information on that on the Go Nuclear website and MohawkInternationalRaceway.com, right?
Absolutely. And Facebook, we do a lot of postings on Facebook. But again, great shows, sprints, late models, and sportsmen, oh my.
Of course, Shane's always got some wacky things going on. Let's take a look back of 2013 wacky antics for him.
My car is white because we couldn't get into the graphics guys in time. Then once I did put the sides on, well, I have a habit of making nice flat panels not so flat. But look, it's a fine, fine looking white.
Were you a little worried when you had to pull off the track there right in front of him?
Oh yeah, Charlie Sandercock is going to be taking the number 32 Atomic chassis from me because I like him. And he's going to go out and see what she can do. You know, I wish I knew, but since I don't, I'm bringing in a ringer, Clint Smith, to help me with that. And if I didn't have Clint Smith here helping me, I would likely not be making it out to the feature. Here you have approximately 217-pound fat little hobbit eating poutine. Why is that a problem? Well, take a look at this car here. This car is sitting at approximately 55.5% left side weight. What does that mean? Well, that means that when you enter the corner, it's loose, loose, loose. I'm catching it. But then as soon as I try to get on the throttle, pushing like a dump truck. So really, Shane, the fat little hobbit, really should be going on a diet, eating some salad? No. Here he is, eating poutine. And this is your special edition of the Tech Minute.
So at times, Shane can be serious. So we're going to get serious and talk about some of the other big events going on this season.
We have a number of new events that are joining our traditional events. I already mentioned the Atomic Spring Clash. Our late models have $3,500 possible to win, plus $2,500 in shocks. We've got the one and only Gnome Cup, a $1,500 to win show, $175 to start, featuring the industry's most unique racing trophy, the Gnome Cup. Our Humberstone race has been made bigger and better. We've got the Atomic Triple Crown event. We of course have the Great Crate Race, 5,000 to win show, big event. We've got our doubleheader at Mohawk to end the near the end of the season with the Richard Tenase Memorial. All kinds of really tremendous events.
So a lot of great ways to come and check out the Go Nuclear Late Model Series, growing by leaps and bounds every year. A lot of information available on their website as well as Facebook and Twitter. And remember, you just got to be at the racetrack, and if you haven't been there before, there's a lot of people here that love racing. You got to come find out why as we look forward to 2014 for the Go Nuclear Late Model Series here on the Atomic Power Racing Hour.